One.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, St. Louis. Thank you for tuning in to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KATZ 1600. All right, now we got Brother Shaheed with us this morning.
Well, you
Y'all
act
go
like
ahead and
that's
tag a
something.
friend and bring them in.
Well, y'all
Matter of
get your-
fact, tag 10 friends and bring them in. How about that?
Well, I'm going to tell you for a fact. First of all, I'd like to say assalamu alaikum to everybody, which
Yes.
means peace be unto you. And with the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful, I bear witness no God but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger. This is going to be a hot show.
Yes.
That's all I can tell you. They used to say cayenne pepper. This is cayenne pepper hot.
Yes.
In a minute, when you see the guest that we have on this morning, this in the studio right now, we've got to get a few announcements out the way. I want to say anything else. Nelly said it's so hot up in her, but we don't want you to take off your clothes, but it's going to be that hot. It's
right
going to be
now.
hot. It's going to be a sauna hot.
Well, it's going to sound like it was hot this week.
Yeah,
it was what,
hot.
90 something?
I think it was 99 one day this week, 97. Day for yesterday was 70, 64. I think
Yeah.
today is supposed to be 81. So I don't know
Temperatures
what,
everywhere.
Wow. But all I know is we here this morning.
We here this morning.
And we got some powerful guests. But can I just make a couple announcements? We still got that hiring piece at the, would you give that information
Yes,
out?
absolutely, absolutely. So, on last week we did discuss there was a citywide career fair that is taking place with the United States Postal Service. And so I'm sure they didn't hire everyone. You can apply at USPS.com careers, USPS.com careers. Now that took place on September the 8th, but I would still reach out to them to verify, if there's a place for you. They have city carrier assistance at $18.92
How
per
much?
hour.
What did you just say?
$18
Wow.
and 92 cents
Wow.
per hour. This is your entry to a career with the United States Postal Service.
Okay.
They said we need you to come and be a part of the United States Postal Service mission to deliver for America.
Beautiful.
And they had locations everywhere, guys. I know we gave those locations out on last week, but just a few places here. We got 4120 Manchester, 63120. Jennings, 9810 Halls Ferry Road, 63136. Normandy, 7450. Natural Bridge, 63121. And we also have U City, 561 Kingsland Avenue, 63130, along with many other places. So go back and you can look at last week's page. Go to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Facebook page, like, tag, share, and follow. And you can also look at our old previous lives that we did and get information. Be sure to get a pencil and piece of paper, some kind of electronic device, because we're going to give you some great tips today, as well as like when you go back and review former videos or whatever, live streams.
Well, I'm
Okay.
happy that you gave information out because we want, anytime some jobs are available, for y'all that want to work, some of y'all don't want to work. You want to get a payroll, be on the payroll, but you don't want to work. For the people who want to work, we're going to always give information out about jobs, who's hiring, and you got to go show up and show out. You can't just get there and sit on there talking about you black and all that kind of stuff. That ain't going to get it there.
All right.
We didn't say anything about Mary Bosley on special assignment. We done
Yes.
lost our mind.
Oh, and all the way was Senator Carla May.
And Senator Carla
So,
May. Now, she
yes.
might pop in this morning. I'm not sure, but Mary Bosley is definitely on special assignment, so he won't be here this
Yes.
morning. So we are off the task. Now, did you mention who is Tim? Did you?
Who is Timothy.com? Yes, Timothy is our engineer. And we, like Mary said, we wouldn't be anywhere. We couldn't get, he controls the mics.
Well, who did he keep close?
He keeps Seth Close is right there.
Is he around there
His
too?
right-hand man.
Okay, well, that
All
sounds
right.
good.
So shout out to both who is Timothy.com and Seth Close. We thank you all for what you do. And you
Okay.
can see their work. Go to our Facebook page, go to our YouTube page, and you will see exactly what they do as far as engineering.
So I'm gonna tell you, I don't want to beat around the bush. I don't want to tiptoe through the tulip or none of that there. I want to get right to what I want to talk about, and we have live on stage in the studio this morning the Honorable Over Miller. Now, they
right
don't
now.
say honorable. We have a lot of problems giving up each other, respect for each other, and love for each other. And other black men have problems giving up to black men, but I don't have no problem giving up to the Honorable Brother Over Miller and the Honorable Mike Batchman from Basic.
Good
You know, we talked about
morning.
a
Good
week
morning.
ago,
Good
2 weeks
morning.
ago, about the drugs that's flowing through our community. And as we were talking about it, if y'all remember, I said, I need to bring Brother Over, the Honorable Over Miller here. Because if anybody knows about drugs, this brother here was on drugs for 27 years. And Allah blessed him to get his life together. I was blessed to see a powerful documentary on him, a powerful, powerful, powerful documentary. And even last week, I got a chance to go to an event that they had over to his building over off of Grand Rabbi Arsenal, and I was blown out, you know. So without any hesitation or reservation, I would like to say good morning, Brother Honorable, because they call judges honorable. Ain't nothing, ain't a damn thing honorable about nobody giving me 35, 40 years.
That's right.
And you call, I'm gonna say, yes, thank you, Your Honor, and he gave me thank. I thank you for changing brothers' lives for the last 35 or 40 years, Honorable Over Miller and your assistant. Speak right into that mic loud. And good morning. Good morning to you this morning.
Good morning.
us.
Good morning. Brother Shaheed, it goes without saying, our relationship has grown over the years, and you've always been a supporter.
Oh, praise be to Allah.
To bring that message right to us in the street, what's going on, that's happening. Right now, we in a war, in a serious war. And I've been fortunate enough to have some good things happen, but not without help from people in the community. Bruh Mike, that's my partner. We've been together.
Speak right into that mic. I want you right into that mic.
We've been together for a long time, up and down, and we've seen a lot of things change, but we're still here. We're still here, making sure that our legacy is intact, that we're telling our people the truth about what goes on and not cutting any corners.
Well, I want to talk a little bit with you and Brother Mike about these drugs that's out here now. They're different. And if I remember last week when I was at your location, you said it's about 15 different drugs out here they're called lean. It ain't just no one lean.
Oh, no.
So when they lean, and they straight leaning.
Oh,
you know, can y'all kind of give me a little bit? I know we got about 2 minutes in this segment, but we're going to the next segment. But I want to just get y'all to kind of, can you give me a little bit?
Good question, Brother Anthony.
Speak right into that mic for me, bro.
Good question, Brother Anthony. The drugs in our community right now are really chemicals. They're laboratory based, based on the chemical makeup. You've got probably 15 different variations of fentanyl.
Damn.
Fentanyl is a very deadly chemical that's destroying our community, and that's the drug of choice at this time because it's highly addictive. And when they're using those drugs, and I go back 20 years when it first really came on the scene, and we knew what to expect from that type of chemical based on the history that heroin had in our community back in the 60s. But when they brought this on, it was it created an environment of nihilism that superseded anything that we really saw in our community back in the 60s.
They dropped it. They dropped it right on top of us. From the 1981, let's go back. The Iran-Contra scandal. When out of the Mercury News, Congressman Maxine Waters, they did a big report on what was going on as the white police and authorities brought drugs into the inner city and let loose on them. Now we're asking here, now that was 1981. Now we're asking people here in 2022 to change up. Why are you surprised? What are you surprised about? You formulated this. You're the one that put those drugs in our community and without any resources. Those are, this fentanyl is a synthetic drug.
Yes.
Synthetic. It's killing people left and right because nobody knows how to mix it up right.
Exactly.
So, the state has pushed real hard to say that we want to come together and make some changes and do outreach work. But you can't do outreach work if you don't understand the condition that the people who are using the drugs are in. You know, what was his name? Julio Castro.
Right.
He came here 2 years ago, and what he did was he made sure that he did a review of the JVL, and what he found out was just mind-blowing. 1,500 families, average family size, a mother and 3 children, unemployed, lack of education, and annual income $11,000 a year.
That's a good stopping point.
That's
Because we're going to take a break and come back, guys. We
I want
need
to
you
remember where
to stay with us.
Because I want you to come right back on
Break
that
it down
part.
for us. $11,000 income, because we don't want to miss this, guys. We want to make sure that we get this information. Right now, I want you to go ahead and tag a friend, tag 10 friends, and bring them in. And then we're going to go on a commercial break and be back. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr.
Build it
Show.
up. Nigga. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show. Keep it on lock. Wait a minute. Say it right. Keep it on lock and what?
Quit playing.
Quit playing. It's a bass with it.
Welcome back, St. Louis. Welcome back. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show on KTZ 1600. Hallelujah.
Okay, don't be sitting there looking at me when you.
Good morning. We're back, guys. We're talking about some really important information here this morning. We're talking about opioid abuse. We're talking about fentanyl use and just alcohol and what happened to the community that led to so many people being addicted to drugs. What were their circumstances? And this morning we have Basis here. We have our good brother here, and he was just sharing information about $11,000 annual income.
Yes.
And go ahead and give us those statistics and facts again so we can.
Well, see, the thing of it is $11,000, a mother and 3 children. Now, the government says that it costs $20,000 per child just to meet basic needs. Wow. So this woman is sitting here in JBL with 3 children needing $60,000 a year and no job, just only the rental subsidies. So a lot of this stuff is coming back at us to say, what are we going to try to do to make these things change? Well, if you don't understand the environment, you can't change. We ask the question all the time, what are you doing in our neighborhood? And you don't know the people in the neighborhood. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't have no idea. You just think you can put somebody in here and write up a few things, and that's it.
Don't happen like that.
No, it don't. And you know, Mike works with them every single day. As we've grown.
Speaking to that mic, I want them to hear
Yeah,
everything
and, you know,
that you're
as
saying.
we've grown, and you know, fundraising and all the other. But Mike is in the. That's
In
my
the
partner.
trenches.
He in the trenches. He in
In
the
the
trenches. You know.
So, Brother Mike, why don't you jump on in there, and then when you tie anything you want to, but make sure,
Well, one
please,
of
you
the
tie
things I
in
wanna
that
get back to-
85% in that, please.
That
When you-
85% stems from 5 critical areas in our community.
Right.
One is the lack of cultural origin.
Right.
One is racial self-hatred.
Right.
One is poor self-image.
That's right.
Another is cultural survival skills, cultural defense mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
These things exist in our community that brings about a mentality of nihilism. And nihilism really means a person has no love, no hope, no meaning, no purpose in life.
That's right.
And when that type of mentality exists in our community, it goes to medicate the pain associated with those areas.
Yes.
And it leads to the alcohol and drug abuse.
And people are dangerous.
They
When
become
you-
dangerous because what happens, I'm sorry, Mr.
No,
Gunn.
no, go
They
ahead on.
become dangerous because they have been stripped of the spiritual essence of their being.
That's right.
You know, a
As
human,
a result of being on drugs or just as a result of
Conditions.
their lifestyle?
well, the lifestyle leads to the drugs, but one of the things the drugs does, it strips you of your moral and ethical value system. And your moral and ethical value system is driven by a spiritual principle, things that you learn. You know, from your parents or in the community, things of that. They're guideposts to guide and direct your decision making. But when you become addicted to drugs and alcohol, it strips you of that ability to do that. And this is where a human being becomes animalistic because they start to
Yes.
live off instinct.
That's right.
And that's why they call the inner city the jungle, or only the strong survive. Those types of principles exist in that community because of the fact that it's been stripped of spiritual principles. You know, everything in life is guided by law.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes,
So-
yes.
If you don't have any laws to guide and direct your behavior and your attitude, and that's the 85% you talked about, Anthony, the attitude, the behavior, and problem solving of an individual, the
And-
ability to
And he has to change that. See, and that's what Michael's job is constantly, every day, is to go in there and instill in those guys and the women in there hope. HOPE, hope. That's what's missing in our communities. there's no hope to see things change. Now, we've been in business 39 years, 39 years. And in the 39 years we've been in business, we've never had an incident of violence in our facility. Never had an incident, never had an overdose in our environment.
Awesome. That's
And we
phenomenal.
deal with murders and robbers and thieves and everybody else. But when they come in, Michael and his team establish a rapport with them to
Relationship.
know to respect each other. That while you're here, you're going to get the ultimate respect, and you have no need to lash out and act up towards people who look like you.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, can I jump in just for a minute?
Yeah.
One of the things I've seen, brothers and sisters in the radio and television listening audience, is from actual facts. I've been there to basic, hundreds of times. And when I tell you they deal with the real brothers and sisters, and I hear y'all talking about St. Anthony's, and that's what y'all say. I hear y'all talking about St. John. But when I tell you about basic, anytime I see a brother that's really in trouble, I'm talking about in the worst need, down what you call to the bottom, they got to go to basic. Anything other than basic, all those other programs y'all talking about, they not like basic.
And tell us.
And just the last thing, when I say real brothers, I'm not talking about just no regular, but I'm talking about real. What I've seen them is what white folks would refer to as the bottom of the barrel. I've seen them take brothers and sisters like that on that level, and within months and 6 months and year that they're coming back also talking about how this changed their lives. That's what I've seen.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, sister.
You're fine. I just wanted to say, because you made me think about it. Would you tell the people what BASIC stands for? Because it's an acronym
Yes,
and
it is.
not a word.
Right. It stands for the word Black Alcohol Drug Service Information Center. When I first opened up in 1983, some people in the community said, you should take the black out of your name. I said, well, why would we do that? Well, we work so hard to be inclusive in the community that we shouldn't try to separate ourselves out. I said, but white folks have their own treatment center
They sure do.
based on white middle-class American males. We have a right to have our own place. And that, that thing about, well, you put too many expectations on the clients. You want them to do this and that. Black people won't respond to that. Us black people, all they know how to do is do as they told.
That's right.
We don't know nothing else but do as we told. We've been raised to do as we told.
That's right.
So when somebody comes up and questions why we separate out, because we have areas of emotional pain that must be addressed. Double consciousness, how I see myself versus how other people see me.
Yes.
That's ever going on in the black community. So we have to fight. We pay a price because a lot of times we're cut off from the funds that we really need to do our job. But that's not going to deter us because we keep on.
We also have a women's program that specializes
I saw that.
for women. It's
Sister
named
Charlotte.
after Miss Charlotte Otley.
Yeah.
Yes.
Married Otley.
Yes.
You talking
Charlotte
about
Married
a
Otley
shero.
Transgender
Sister
Yes.
Motley,
Women's Center.
I
Yes.
loves her.
Yes.
And what we've come to realize is that women have to have a unique treatment because women deal with areas of emotional pain
That's right.
that are very special only to women, and that
Yes.
needs to be addressed. We
Yes.
cannot use a male model to treat our women.
I wanted to
And-
ask you a question. 39 years
39.
you've been in the community
Yes.
on the forefront. What are one of tell us about the greatest challenge, the greatest barriers to being able to service the people and treat them,
Well,
besides
The
funding?
greatest barrier to treat our people or to get the support of society, certain parts of society, is the stigma associated with being an addict or alcoholic. And nobody wants to, because they're at the bottom of the barrel, as Brother Anthony said. Our population has been written off of society.
Yeah.
Our population is the one that you see on the news every day.
That's right.
Yes.
that's the one they parade back and forth in front of us, time in and time out.
I'm sorry, I got to keep jumping because y'all, you know what y'all doing to me.
Yes,
You're
sir.
making me think about why this program is so important. And if you could just give less than 2 minutes, because you can go for 22 minutes on just this one alone. How you were out there in the streets, bad, for 27 years on drugs, and how you changed your life, but you told your daughter, if you tell her something, you're going to keep your word. Give me that, and how most of the people that's working with you are also, former addicts.
Brother Shahid, I was, you know, as in the documentary say, I got on that bus at 1 o'clock that morning, and it was 52 hours I rode on that bus to St. Louis, going through heroin withdrawal. When I got off the bus, my sister met me at the bus station and said, God has saved you for a reason, a special reason. I need you to trust these people. I said, sis, I don't know these people. She said, but your best thinking got you here. You need to trust these people. So I started that way moving,